All right, today we're going to dive deep into your bloodstream to talk about a protein that is, well, an absolute workhorse. You've probably never even heard of it, but trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand just how crucial it is to your health. Let's get right into it. So, have you ever had this happen? You press a finger into your ankle, and for a second, a little dent stays there. Or maybe your feet just feel puffy. It's so easy to just brush it off, right? But what if that swelling is actually a signal? A message from your body telling you something important is out of balance. We're going to connect those dots today, and it all starts with one key player. And here it is. Let's meet our main character for today, albumin. Now, it doesn't get the press that things like cholesterol or hemoglobin get, but I'm telling you, it is an absolute unsung hero. Your body just wouldn't work without it. Now, when the levels of this hero protein get too low, you get this condition with a mouthful of a name, hypoalbuminemia. All that really means is low albumin in the blood. And here's the key thing to get. It's not a disease itself. Think of it more like a huge clue that points to something else going on. Okay, so to really get what albumin does, I want you to picture a sponge. This is the perfect analogy. Its main job is to act like a water magnet, using this force that scientists call osmotic pressure to keep all the fluid inside your blood vessels, exactly where it's supposed to be. So that leads to the next logical question, right? If this protein is so important, why in the world would your levels of it drop? And the answers, well, they show you just how connected everything inside your body really is. It really boils down to a few major categories. Either your body's main factory isn't making enough of it, you're losing it somewhere along the line, or some other big picture problem is interfering. So let's break each of these down. And the number one absolute top of the list reason for not making enough albumin is a problem with the liver. And this is so critical because the liver has a complete and total monopoly on making this stuff. Yep, you heard that right. The liver is the only factory in your entire body that churns out albumin. So it's pretty simple. If that factory gets damaged from disease, it's like a major power failure. Production just slows way, way down, and your albumin levels start to tank. Okay, so that's the production side. But what if the factory is running at full steam, but you're losing the product out the back door as fast as you can make it? Well, that brings us to our number two cause, the kidneys. See, your kidneys are supposed to be these amazing high-tech filters, keeping all the good stuff like albumin in your blood. But if those filters get damaged, they get leaky. Albumin starts to escape from your blood and spills into your urine. Doctors call this albuminuria. So it's not a production problem anymore, it's a leakage problem. And of course, other big issues can throw a wrench in the works too. If you have chronic inflammation, your liver gets distracted making immune proteins instead of albumin. If you're severely malnourished, you just don't have the building blocks. Heart failure is like a triple whammy. And even things like severe burns or getting tons of IV fluids can cause you to lose albumin or just dilute what you have. Okay, so we've covered the why. We know what causes low albumin, but what actually happens inside your body when you're running low? This is where you start to see and feel the effects. And here we are, full circle, right back to our original question about swollen ankles. The single most visible, most common sign of low albumin is edema. That's just the medical term for swelling. So why does this swelling happen? It all comes down to this number. When albumin levels fall below this critical threshold, around 1.5 grams per deciliter, that sponge effect we talked about, it just fails. The magnetic force holding water inside your blood vessels gets too weak, and that sets off a chain reaction. First, the low albumin means that pressure inside the blood vessel drops. With nothing holding it back, water starts to leak out of the tiny blood vessels and seeps into the tissues around them. And boom, that's what causes the swelling. But the effects are not just skin deep. There's a much more hidden and frankly more dangerous consequence that happens on a microscopic level, and it has everything to do with any medications you might be taking. So let's bring in our second big analogy. If albumin is a sponge for water, it's also a molecular taxi for drugs. You see, a ton of different medications need to hitch a ride on an albumin molecule to travel safely through your bloodstream to get where they need to go. Think of it this way. With normal albumin levels, you've got a whole fleet of taxis ready to go. The drug molecules are safely bound, getting delivered where they need to be. But with low albumin, there's a taxi shortage. That means you get a lot more free drug just floating around unbound in your blood. And that can be really dangerous, dramatically increasing your risk of side effects and even toxicity. And its job doesn't even stop there. Low albumin can make heart failure worse. And because it also helps keep your body's pH in check, a shortage can throw that delicate acid-base balance all out of whack.
Wow, okay, that was a lot of detail, I know. So let's zoom out for a second and just pull together the big picture, the most important things to walk away with.
You can really tell the whole story right here. What is it? It's your body's sponge and its taxi service. Why do levels drop? Mostly because of liver or kidney problems, but also inflammation or not getting enough nutrition. And what's the result? Swelling that you can see and a higher risk for medications that you can't. And honestly, if you take away just one thing today, please make it this. A low albumin level is a red flag. It's a flashing check engine light on your body's dashboard. It's telling you, hey, look deeper, find the real problem, whether that's in your liver, your kidneys, or somewhere else entirely. And it just leaves you with this kind of amazing thought, doesn't it? That the health of these huge, complex organs buried deep inside you can be reflected in the level of a single protein, in a single drop of blood. It's a powerful reminder of how interconnected it all is. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.